Hello, YouTube, and we are gonna watch Visual Venture Most Disturbing TV Shows. Let's go.
The Canadian Broadcast Standards Council says the mighty Morphin Power Rangers is too violent and it wants it off the air.
How?
Performance was so terrifying that MGM decided to cut entire scenes where they deemed her too scary for younger audiences.
This is the most insane idea.
How's the Power Rangers the most disturbing thing ever?
A little controversy can make a show exciting. Too much can destroy it. Today, we'll explore TV shows and TV episodes banned for being too controversial. We'll uncover the dark stories behind them and why networks decided the public should
everyone go follow Visual Venture.
The unsettling cases and save the worst for last. Guys, so it's almost at the end of the year and my goal is still the same, to increase the number of videos I put out without sacrificing quality. And to do that, we gotta keep growing the world if you subscribe, and I promise to do the best to make the best videos I possibly can. I'm Visual Venture and you are awesome. By the way, a big thanks to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video. Ghost Watch. In 1992, the BBC set out to make the scariest TV show ever. Their plan was simple but deeply twisted. It was in two steps. Step one,
have
a ghost
any of y'all
story that looked completely
Have any of y'all watched Ghost Watch? I have never.
real. Step two, make viewers believe that the ghost could reach through the screen and attack anyone watching at home. They didn't just want to scare people. They wanted viewers to feel haunted, as if watching the show cursed them. This is the story of how they pulled it off and how that broadcast caused
Bruh, I'm literally not a big fan of horror, so I would not last a second watching this.
so much panic that it was banned from ever airing again. The show was called Ghost Watch. In the weeks before it aired, the BBC promoted it as a live investigation into a haunted house. Here's what they told viewers. A single mother in North London believed her home was haunted. The woman claimed that she and her two daughters were being tormented by a violent ghost. To uncover the truth, the BBC promised to send a team of reporters to spend the night inside the home. Their cameras would be rolling the entire time.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of, what's that movie called? It was like, I don't know, but this video is also going on YouTube, so I'll have a picture ready by then.
Every noise, every shadow, every scream would be broadcast live. If a ghost really was there, millions of people would see it happen in real time. That was the setup, and the audience bought every word of it. But behind the scenes, the entire thing was fake. The haunted house was a studio set. The woman and her two daughters were actors, and the ghost didn't exist. But viewers didn't know that. They thought they were about to witness a real ghost filmed on live television. They installed 40 of these LED signs all over, tormented by a violent ghost. To uncover the truth, the BBC promised to send a team of reporters to spend the night inside the home. Their cameras would be rolling the entire time. Every noise, every shadow, every scream would be broadcast live. If a ghost really was there, millions of people would see it happen in real time. That was the setup, and the audience bought every word of it. But behind the scenes, the entire thing was fake. The haunted house was a studio set. The woman and her two daughters
staged,
and the ghost didn't exist, but viewers didn't know that. They thought they were about to witness a real ghost filmed on live television. Ghost Watch aired on Halloween night 1992. Millions across the UK tuned in. From the first scene, it looked like a real news broadcast.
Oh, hey,
no Gothic towers, no shutter windows. Yet for the past 10 months, this house has been the focus
that's
of
my
an
first
astonishing
stream.
barrage of supernatural.
To make it more convincing, they interviewed the family living inside.
Confrontations, of course, with the supernatural can be devastatingly real. Let's find out what effect they've had on Mrs. Early and her family.
The woman and her daughters sounded scared and desperate.
It's wrecked my house, my home, my family.
After hearing their story, the reporters promised to capture the ghost on camera. For almost 40 minutes, nothing strange happened. Everyone was just waiting. The temperature dropped, and loud banging came from inside the walls. Remember, guys, millions were watching live. Most believed that a real ghost was inside that home. But the BBC wasn't done yet. They wanted to make viewers think that the ghost could crawl through their TV and torment them in their homes. Here's how they did it. The hosts said viewers were calling in from across the country. These callers claimed strange things were happening in their homes while they watched.
We're getting all sorts of calls. In Derby, someone was ringing to say that her clock had stopped. Ken and Joyce Scrivener from Telford in Shropshire, their radio has gone dead.
Of course, none of it was true. No one was actually calling in to say they were haunted, but the audience didn't know that. People across the UK believed that Ghostwatch was cursed, and that simply watching the show was letting the ghost into their homes. Some panicked and turned off their TVs. Others kept watching. But things were about to spiral completely out of control. As the night went on, things in Ghostwatch got worse. Objects started flying across the room.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask this question one more time, but have any of y'all seen Ghostwatch? I've never seen that.
The cameraman suddenly collapsed. Then one of the daughters started speaking in a deep voice like she was possessed. Even the presenter began acting strangely. He was mumbling nonsense as if he wasn't in his right mind. Then, these were the most chaotic. The broadcast ended. Within minutes, panic spread across Britain. The BBC received 30,000 angry calls about Ghostwatch. The phone lines even jammed. Parents said their children were crying. Others believed their homes were haunted. Some even said they could see ghosts in their bedrooms. Ghostwatch was the first case of PTSD jam.
You saw
Parents
that?
said their children were crying. Others believed their homes were haunted in their bedrooms. Ghostwatch became the first case of PTSD caused by a television program. To calm the public, the BBC admitted Ghostwatch wasn't real. There was no haunting, no ghost, and no danger. Viewers felt tricked and betrayed. The next morning, the story was all over the newspapers. The authorities accused the BBC of deliberately trying to cultivate. Ghostwatch was banned. It never aired on public television again. But Ghostwatch didn't stay buried. Years later, it was quietly released on DVD. Since then, it's become a cult classic. Ghostwatch showed us how easy it is to miss what's really happening. Just like it's easy to miss when you've been charged for a subscription.
They're magicians.
Thought you canceled 6 months ago. Well, today's sponsor, Rocket Money, is here to help. Rocket Money is an all-in-one personal finance app that helps you cancel subscriptions, lower bills.
It's like the third time he plugged this stuff.
My parents always taught me how to be responsible with money. And even now that you guys help support me financially through this channel, I am very careful about how I spend. And Rocket Money makes this so much easier. A big thing you can lose track of are subscriptions. I always found extra monthly subscriptions I wasn't even using. Once you connect your bank account, Rocket Money identifies all your subscriptions in a single list. From there, you can select the ones you don't want anymore, and Rocket Money may be able to help you cancel with just a few taps. In fact, they've helped people save over $880 million in canceled subscriptions. But of course, it's not just about subscriptions. One thing that my parents taught me is to never spend more money than what you have, and budgeting allows me to do that. With Rocket Money, you can create a custom budget in seconds. The app shows you where your money is going at all times and tells you what you're spending the most money on and provides you insights on how to stay within your budget. My friends, I encourage you guys to take control of your finances today, because the way you take care of money is the way you take care of everything else. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to get started for free.
Code W plug.
In 2020, Netflix released a new reality show about food. At first, nobody thought much about it. It was just another cooking competition. But one country saw it differently. To them, that show was a crime. And they did everything to make sure their citizens could never watch it. That show was named Cooked with Cannabis. For YouTube's sake, we'll call it Cooked with Grass. The concept was straightforward.
Are they cooking with weed?
Stepped into the kitchen to compete. Each had to make their best three-course meal. At the end, a panel of judges chose a winner. That winner walked away with $10,000. But there was one rule that made it unlike any other cooking show. Every meal had to include grass.
Each episode, 3 expert cannabis chefs will prepare a 3-course cannabis-infused menu.
That's crazy. Have anyone in chat ever seen
said it wasn't about promoting anything.
these TV shows before?
Wanted to take away the stigma around grass.
It's really difficult to dismantle years of misconceptions and stigmas about marijuana.
They wanted to prove that grass could be a legitimate cooking ingredient, not just a taboo topic. And in many ways, it succeeded. Chefs used grass in sauces, desserts, and main dishes. Judges scored them on creativity, taste, and presentation. Cooked with Cannabis Cannabis premiered on Netflix in April 2020, and reviews were quite positive. Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 86%. Some viewers liked it so much they begged Netflix to make at least 10 seasons, but not everyone was impressed. The show appeared in the Netflix streaming library for millions of Singaporeans. When the Singaporean government saw it, they were furious, because in Singapore, grass isn't just controversial, it's one of the most serious crimes a person can commit. Singapore has some of the toughest substance laws in the world, and the punishments are severe. Carrying even the smallest amount of grass can lead to years in prison. Being caught with more than 1.1 pounds can mean the death penalty. These laws are strictly enforced.
If you get caught with a set amount of drugs, you get hanged.
Since 2022, Singapore has ended 15 people for substance-related offenses. So when Cooked with Cannabis appeared on Netflix, Singapore, it was more than controversial. It was encouraging people to break the law. The Singaporean government banned it immediately. They contacted Netflix and demanded that the show be taken down. Netflix
crazy.
Within days,
on Netflix
the show
too.
vanished from
With Cannabis.
streaming library. After that, the government made a clear rule. Any show that promoted substances even indirectly would be banned in Singapore. This next story was so messy that the network was fined millions of dollars. Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Most shows get banned because of the
Wait, isn't that the show with that soda?
How it was promoted. The show was called Aqua Teen Hunger Force. When it premiered in the early 2000s, it didn't look like anything else on TV. The stars of the show were three.
Yeah, that soda.
A milkshake, a box of fries, and a meatball. They lived together and got into bizarre adventures.
I only watched the one episode.
But that was a charm. Viewers loved how weird it was. Soon the show developed a small but loyal fan base. But the creators wanted more than that. They wanted everyone to know about the show. So they came up with a new marketing campaign. On paper, it sounded like a good idea, but it really wasn't. The marketing stunt caused such a mess that the police got involved. The campaign launched in early 2007. Normally, TV shows were promoted through commercials or billboards. But the team behind Aqua Teen Hunger Force wanted to advertise on the streets of Boston. Their idea was simple. They built glowing LED signs featuring alien characters from the show. The characters were called Mooninites.
We are the Mooninites, and our culture is advanced beyond all that you can possibly comprehend with 100% of your brain.
Each sign showed a Mooninite flipping people off with its middle finger. The creators thought fans would find it funny, and that others would be curious enough to ask what it was about. They installed 40 of these LED signs all over Boston, above shops, near bridges, and even along highways. They worked overnight trying to stay out of sight. They wanted people to wake up and see glowing Mooninites all over the city. But they made one stupid mistake.
Why would they even do that?
They were for. There was no title, no logo, no hint that it was an ad. Just glowing circuit boards with wires sticking out.
It's like a type of vandalism, isn't it?
Devices. They saw flashing lights, batteries, and tangled wires. To most people, it looked like a bomb. Someone called 911. Police rushed to the scene. They evacuated the area and destroyed one of the devices in a controlled explosion. But that was just the beginning.
Oh, they thought it was a bomb?
Across the city. Dozens of these strange devices were spotted under bridges, tunnels, and buildings. The city thought it was under attack.
Suspicious packages were discovered all over Boston.
I kind of get it though.
Roads were closed, the Charles River was closed, and questions were asked about terrorism.
The entire city went into lockdown. For almost 8 hours, police and federal agents searched for more devices.
Boston police did shut down a bridge, several main roads, including an interstate, and stop boat traffic on the Charles.
Luckily, one of the officers happened to be a fan of Aqua Teen Hunger Force. He recognized the characters. He told his team these aren't bombs, they are Mooninites, just cartoon characters. The lockdown finally ended, and the fear subsided.
Dozens of electronic devices placed all around the
city. That was pretty stupid of them to promote the show that way.
But they were mistaken to be bombs.
The panic was over, but the authorities had a new mission: find and punish those who caused this mess. Police quickly tracked down the 2 men who put up the signs. They were arrested and charged with disorderly conduct. But those men weren't the masterminds. They were just hired to install the signs. So the authorities went after the network itself. To settle the case, Adult Swim's parent company paid the city $2 million in damages. They also issued a formal public
$2 million.
Creators of Aqua Teen Hunger Force understood how much trouble they caused. But instead of showing regret, they tried to joke about it. They created a new episode titled Boston and made fun of the entire incident.
Turn on your tiny magnetic light.
Hold on. Ain't no way they're gonna terrorize the whole city and then make fun of it.
That way, You look more like a device.
Network executives weren't amused. They banned the episode before it could ever air. For 8 years, the Boston episode stayed hidden. It was the only episode of the series that was never released. Then in 2015, someone leaked it online. Viewers were furious. Many felt it was disrespectful to joke about the mass panic. This next chapter proves that even the most innocent shows can sometimes go too far. Sesame Street. It's hard to imagine Sesame Street being disturbing.
Why is it
The show first
disturbing?
aired in 1969, and it became a must-watch for children all over the world. Kids loved Big Bird, Elmo, and the other Muppets. But hidden in Sesame Street's history is one episode that almost ruined the show. It was titled Episode 847, and it aired in February 19.
Wait, I have never seen this episode.
Had a simple goal: teach kids about good manners. Producers wanted kids to learn that the best way to get something is by asking politely. But that message didn't go as planned. Instead of teaching kindness, episode 847 sent kids running from their TVs. The episode starts with a strange event. A broom falls from the sky. It lands in the hands of a boy named David. It turns out that the broom belongs to a witch, and she wants it back.
Have the broom until you can't. Let me have it. You can't have the broom until you show me a little respect. Oh, yes, I can.
Angry, the witch threatens to turn David into a basketball if he doesn't return it.
I'll turn you into a basketball. Bounce, bounce, bounce.
The threats don't work. Frustrated, she disappears.
I'll be back.
Later, she returns with a new plan. This time, she disguises herself as an old woman, and instead of yelling, she decides to ask nicely.
Please let me hold the broom. Certainly.
And it works. She gets her broom back.
I got it, my broom, my broom.
That was supposed to be the lesson. If you want something, be polite. Don't threaten people. The producers thought they did a good job, but they were wrong. That episode was about to cause a meltdown. As soon as the episode aired, chaos followed. The network was flooded with calls.
It wasn't that disturbing, wasn't it?
Their children were crying, refusing to finish the episode because the witch was too scary. Her green skin, cackling voice,
No way.
threats frightened kids. Some were so scared they refused to watch Sesame Street ever again. To fix the problem, the actress who played the witch appeared on TV as herself. She wanted children to see she was just a regular person pretending to be scary.
To know that you're a real lady who got dressed up to play this part.
Oh, there's your old friend, the Wicked Witch of the West.
But that
She
didn't help.
looked-
Parents
yeah.
continued to insist the episode was too frightening for children. So PBS pulled episode 847 from broadcast. It never aired on TV again. For decades, it was considered lost. But in 2022, someone leaked the full episode online. It's still floating around the internet. Anyone can find it.
I don't think that episode was that
That show
disturbing.
was connected to one of the worst tragedies in history: The Simpsons. Everyone knows The Simpsons.
Oh gosh, The Simpsons something else.
The show was designed to be a satirical depiction of American life. For over 30 years, it's poked fun at politics, celebrities, and pop culture. But in 1997, a few jokes backfired, and the public reaction was so intense that an entire episode had to be buried. The episode was called The City of New York versus Homer Simpson. It aired in September 1997 during the show's 9th season. The story began with Homer losing his car. After searching for months, he gave up and decided to build a new one himself.
Homer, I don't want you driving around in a car you built yourself.
One day, Homer...
Wait, I've seen
received a
clips
letter from
about
the
this.
authorities.
Dear motorist, your vehicle is illegally parked in the borough of Manhattan.
My vehicle!
His missing car was sitting in New York City the whole time. Determined to get it back, Homer boarded a bus to Manhattan. But when he arrived at the big city, things became very frustrating. His car was clamped and buried under parking tickets.
What the hell is this thing? Come off!
The city drove him mad. The traffic, the crowds, the noise.
Hey, when you're done with that, I got something up here you can bite on.
And why don't you be polite?
Everything was
Whoa.
loud, chaotic, and overwhelming.
Sorry about that, guy. They stick all the jerks in Tower 1.
That's it. I'm coming over there.
Yeah, why don't you come over here? I got something for you.
Shut up, the both of you.
Frustrated, Homer got into his car and drove away with the clamp still attached. The episode was a parody of city life. They wanted to make fun of how stressful New York could be. Viewers laughed, and for 4 years, it was just another funny Simpson episode. But a few years later, those jokes suddenly didn't seem funny anymore. On September 11th, 2001, tragedy struck New York.
Whoa.
Twin Towers collapsed. Thousands of lives were lost. In the weeks that followed, people turned to familiar shows toys for comfort. But when fans rewatched that episode from The Simpsons, they noticed something unsettling. There were small details that reminded them of the tragedy.
We could all go with the bus company's special super sitter
But
fair.
that episode was much older than that, right?
I think so. $9 next to an image of the Twin Towers. Together it looked like 9/11. And throughout the episode, Homer's car was parked between the towers. There was also a short argument between two men, one yelling from Tower 1 and the other from Tower 2. Before the tragedy, those lines were just jokes about city life. After the tragedy, they felt disturbing. Conspiracy theorists went crazy. They claimed The Simpsons predicted 9/11. The rumors grew so fast that the network had to step in, out of respect for the victims and
Bro, The Simpsons be predicting almost everything.
their families. Fox pulled the episode. It was removed from syndication so no other network could air it again. For years, the city of New York versus Homer Simpson vanished. But in 2006, it quietly returned to television. But it wasn't the same. Every shot of the towers was cut out. Every joke that could be linked to the tragedy was removed. The original version was never screened again in its original form. Up next is one of the most beloved shows of all time, but somehow it still got banned. Star Trek: The Original Series. There's a reason so many people love Star Trek. It wasn't just about spaceships or aliens. The show told deep stories about people, choices, and humanity. But one episode didn't go as planned. It was titled Miri. It was one of the show's most creative stories. However, that episode disturbed viewers so much that the network banned it. Miri aired in 1966 during the first season of Star Trek. It started like any other mission. The crew detected a mysterious signal coming from deep space.
Earth-style distressing. SOS.
I've answered it on all frequencies, sir. They don't reply.
Not a vessel, a ground source.
Captain Kirk sent a small team to investigate. When they landed, they couldn't believe what they saw. The planet looked exactly like Earth, but something was wrong. The streets were empty, the buildings were abandoned, and when the team finally met the locals, the mystery deepened. The planet was full of children. There were no adults anywhere. Captain Kirk and his team tried to figure out why. That's when they met a girl named Miri, and she told them the truth about the planet's past. 300 years earlier, scientists on that planet wanted to stop people from aging. They created a virus that was supposed to make people live forever. But the experiment went horribly wrong. It worked on children, but it was lethal for adults. Every adult was wiped out, leaving only children behind. Meanwhile, the kids stopped aging and stayed young for centuries. They lived without parents, schools, or anyone to care for them.
Children who never age. Eternal childhood filled with play. No responsibilities. It's almost like a dream.
Captain Kirk decided to help them. Thanks to the captain, a team of adults was sent to help the kids rebuild the society. Miri ended on a hopeful note, but not everyone saw it that way. When Miri aired in the United States, most people liked it. But in December 1970, it aired in the United Kingdom, and the reaction was far from positive. British audiences felt the story was too dark. They saw children trapped in a desperate world with no adults, scared, confused, and fighting to survive. British regulators received a flood of complaints. Viewers said the episode wasn't family friendly. The authorities reviewed it themselves, and their conclusion wasn't positive. The report said Miri dealt most unpleasantly with the already unpleasant subjects of madness, sadism, and disease. The episode was banned from British television. For 20 years, viewers never saw it again. But the ban didn't last forever. In the early 1990s, the ban was finally lifted, and all episodes of Star Trek, including Miri, aired on cable television. TV shows can inspire audiences, but this next one taught viewers a dangerous lesson.
Let's see if this one's dangerous.
Power Rangers. If you grew up in the 1990s, you probably
Okay, how is Power Rangers the most disturbing?
remember Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It was about teenagers who transformed into superheroes to defend Earth from alien monsters, and it was my personal favorite.
It's quite simple, my dear. This planet is under attack, and I have brought you here to save it.
Oh, yeah, right.
Kids were obsessed. They copied every kick and punch from the show. But parents were concerned. They thought the show made violence look fun. Some even wrote angry letters, demanded it be taken off the air. For producers,
not gonna lie, have either of y'all like imagined being in those situations when watching that show? It'd be like so fun.
stood their ground. They said Power Rangers taught teamwork and bravery. They insisted kids knew it was just pretend, but soon a tragedy proved them wrong. In October 1994, 3 kids in Norway were playing after school. 2 of them pretended to be Power Rangers. They tried reenacting fight scenes from the show, but things got out of hand. By the time it was over, one of the kids passed away. It was a national tragedy. Parents blamed Power Rangers. They said it encouraged dangerous behavior, and this tragedy was their proof. Within days, the backlash spread around the world.
The Canadian Broadcast Standards Council says the mighty Morphin Power Rangers is too violent and it wants it off the air.
Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and New Zealand all banned the show. In Canada, it stayed on air, but the fight scenes were cut out. The bans lasted for years. Eventually, the show returned, but only after the creators agreed to tone down the violence in later versions. This next show was designed to be shocking. It's no wonder that they crossed a line. Fear Factor.
Oh.
In 2001, Fear Factor shook the world of reality TV. The show's concept was so extreme that even the host couldn't believe it.
This is the most insane idea for a television show I've ever heard. This is going to be canceled immediately.
Each episode featured ordinary people facing their worst fears for a chance to win $50,000. One week, contestants jumped off skyscrapers. The next, they were buried alive. And sometimes they ate things too disgusting to describe.
I'm Joe Rogan. This is Fear Factor. The stunts you're about to see were all designed and supervised by trained professionals.
Whoa.
They are extremely dangerous and should not be attempted.
I've never seen Fear Factor.
Fear Factor became a cultural phenomenon. Millions tuned in every week, but over time, viewers got used to the stunts. The shock value faded and the ratings dropped. Eventually, the show went off the air. Then in 2011, producers brought it all back. They wanted the new season to push the limits of what people could handle, but what they created was so disturbing, it got Fear Factor banned. The episode was titled Hee Haw, Hee Haw. It started with the host explaining the rules.
To stare fear in the eye, compete for $50,000. Now to win the money, you're gonna have to complete 3 extreme stunts. Stunts that'll not only test you physically, but mentally as well.
The first stunt was tough but doable. Contestants walked across a platform lined with electrified wires. Each step sent small shocks through their body.
Even Mr. Beast wouldn't do that.
That's what caused all the trouble. Contestants were given large jugs of mystery liquid. At first, they thought it was some strange protein shake. Then the host revealed the truth. It came from a donkey. Everyone on set was horrified. Even the camera crew got sick. The episode was filmed, edited, and submitted for approval. But when that work
They're drinking donkey milk, bro.
executives saw it, they were disgusted. They felt this was too much for TV. The episode was banned immediately. It never aired on television, not even
And they did drink it.
of the controversy. A few months later, one of the contestants spoke out about the Hee Haw challenge on a podcast.
It's actually disgusting.
It's so bitter. It's the bitterest thing you can ever imagine, and it has, a little hint of hay.
Around the same time, the episode leaked online. People finally saw the challenge, and almost all the reactions were negative. One viewer wrote, "This is not even a fear anymore. This is literally sick."
Spot on.
The backlash was massive. A few months later, NBC canceled Fear Factor. Many believe the Hee Haw scandal was the reason. To this day, that episode has never been officially released, but the leaked clips are still on YouTube. It's a disturbing reminder of how far reality TV.
Why would they drink donkey juice?
Videos have the power to entertain, to educate, to inspire, but they also have the power to harm. And these shows are proof that entertainment without limits can cause damage. So my friends, choose what you watch wisely.
They took it too far.
Adventure.